Alright, all set. And 3, 2, 1, action! This is Cinematic Motif. Hello, I'm Wanson, a film critic and a content creator, and welcome back to Cinematic Motif, where I introduce you one Taiwanese film as a motif and then explore other works of similar topic in cinema around the world. Alright, so welcome to our show today. Today we're actually going to talk about a topic that you might find it interesting, or maybe not. It depends on your growing up, We all heard about the fairy tale, the countryside mouse or the town... country mouse or the city mouse, right? Right, that was the tale. Okay, so today we're going to talk about farms. Talk about movies related to farmers and the countryside of farms. So let's get started, and I hope you all enjoy the topic this week. Alright, so as usual, we are going to start with a Taiwanese movie today. That is a movie called The Rice Bomber, 白米炸弹客. Wow. Well, this sounds like terrorism, and to be honest, it is actually perhaps terrorism, but terrorism for a reason. So I'm going to talk about this story with you. So, The Rice Bomber, or 白米炸弹客, this is a 2014 Taiwanese drama film, and it's also an adaptation of the Rice Bomber incident in Taiwan from 2003 to 2004. So basically, this whole story and social incident was adapted into this movie after 10 years. Okay. So it talks about our leading character, Yang Rumen. So Yang Rumen grew up working on a family farm in Zhanghua with his grandparents. So he is a farmer. For this whole family, their farmland was their only asset and their sole support. However, the government plans to convert many farmlands into industrial zones to join the World Trade Organization in 2002 to 2003, I guess. Yes, that was the time. So seeing his grandparents' life and hard work ending in loss, Yang Rumen tried to raise awareness about the loss of the farmers in the southern Taiwan in Zhanghua, and then basically the whole southern Taiwan is a big farm, like a big farming land. And he also writes a lot of articles on newspapers. He also visited various government offices, but he faced a lot of obstacles, and in the end, he could not change anything. So he thought that maybe the best thing that he could done was to have a revolution to secure the future of Taiwan's agriculture. So in 2003 to 2004, he placed a lot of bombs in, Taiwan, around Taiwan. But, listen up. He's not placing the bombs that is going to attack people, or, it's just for some sort of, let's say, protest. Because the bombs are not very, actually attacking people. And the bombs are not, they're not actually really, really big bombs. Basically, in all these bombs, he writes a lot of things expressing his demands to stop importing rice, and the government should take care of people, because there are many farmers in the southern Taiwan that are suffering. Basically, he's doing this sort of protest in a very progressive way, I would say. And he also sent a lot of letters and also writes a lot of articles on media, admitting his responsibility for placing the bomb, and basically to talk about his demands. So, I mean, and the problem why he's called the Rice Bomber is that he places a lot of actual rice in the bomb. So Yang Rumen eventually, he was still, imprisoned in the end. In 2006, he went into the prison, but in 2007, he was released by our president. There's a sort of special release. The president decided to release Yang Rumen because Yang Rumen is not doing anything. Like, he's doing something bad for the society, but he's not actually hurting people. And moreover, Yang Rumen is expressing his opinion on public policies, and of course, I think president somehow knows that maybe the government was not listening to the people. So I think this is a very, very interesting and very, I would say very touching movie to watch, because maybe it's because of my personal reason. My grandparents, they are farmers. They used to plant rice when they were young, but now they plant, other fruits and things like that. So I think it really resonates with my own experience. So I said earlier today, if you are from the countryside, maybe you'll feel what Young Roman is talking about. And people, if you ever come to Taiwan, go to the southern part of Taiwan, you will see there are so many farms there, and you can know that how Taiwan attending WTO, World Trade Organization, will make an impact on their lives, because somehow the plants, the foods, the vegetables they produce somehow becomes too expensive, and they might lose their daily lives to sell things. So I hope you can all go watch this movie and to think about this historical event in Taiwan, I would say 20 years ago. Alright, let's play One Direction and Night Changes, and we'll be right back on Cinematic Motif.
But there's nothing to be afraid of, even when the night changes. It will never change me and you. Chasing it tonight, doubts are running around her head. He's waiting, hides behind a cigarette. Heart is beating loud and she doesn't want it to stop. Moving too fast, moon is lighting up her skin. She's falling, doesn't even know it yet. Having no regrets, it's all that she really wants. We're only getting older, baby, and I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy, just how fast the night changes? Everything that you've ever dreamed of disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of, even when the night changes. It will never change me and you. Going out tonight changes into something red. Her mother doesn't like that kind of dress, reminds her of the missing piece of innocence she lost. We're only getting older, baby, and I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy, just how fast the night changes? Everything that you've ever dreamed of disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of, even when the night changes. It will never change, baby. It will never change, baby. It will never change me and you.
You're listening to Cinematic Motif. I'm Wanson. Today we're talking about movies related to farms. I somehow just forgot what I'm talking about. Okay, we're talking about farms today. Okay, let's get started. Alright, so we just talked about a Taiwanese movie called The Rice Bomber, or 白米炸弹客. And today, next movie that we are going to talk about is actually a British animated... No, it's not animated, it's more of a live action movie. So it's called Peter Rabbit. 彼得兔. I love this movie so much. It's so cute. And I believe most of us have watched Peter Rabbit's storybook when we were young, right? It's a very cute thing. Cute creature and a cute storybook. Okay, so Peter Rabbit is a 2018 comedy film based upon the characters basically created by Beatrix Potter, the book that we're talking about, Peter Rabbit, and James Corden stars as the voice of the title character Peter, And basically, this film's story focuses on Peter Rabbit as he deals with new problems when the Mr. McGregor's, who is the farmer, the farmer in the story, when Mr. McGregor dies and his great-nephew arrives and discovers the trouble Peter's family can get into. Basically, Mr. McGregor's nephew does not like the whole rabbit family. When I say rabbit family, I mean Peter Rabbit and Peter's brothers, sisters, and the whole family, because the rabbits are always eating the plants in the farms. And basically, when the Mr. McGregor's nephew, okay, I'm gonna give his name to you. His name is, wait, what's his name? What's his name? Anyway, okay, the nephew. When the nephew starts to fall in love with our leading actress in this movie, the leading female character B, who's played by Ross Byrne in this movie, he falls in love with B, and then his feeling towards the rabbits became a little bit different, because B loves the rabbits and B loves to paint the rabbits on his on her paintings. Very, very cute film. So what I love so much about this movie is that when we look at live action movies, there's nothing like this has ever been done before. Directed by Will Clark, this movie has very, very great action of characters, particularly the animation of these rabbits. They're so cute, and you can see them, hopping, jumping, and then running in the farmlands, and so cute, and very, very, I would say, seems very, very real to me. And I think this film talks about a very important concept that it is okay to be naughty. It's okay to be a naughty hero like Peter does in this movie, the Peter Rabbit does. And also, the other thing is that this film, basically, it talks about a very important topic when we talk about farms, that is our relations with the nature. I think it's important that we, take the perspective of naturalism when we look at this movie. We should trust nature. We should, establish a sort of mutual trust and the sort of firm relationship and solid relationship with nature. Because at the end of the day, we need to plant. We need to, as the old saying goes, human cannot fight the nature, right? In this movie, the nature is the rabbit. Very, very cute film. So I'm going to play you a song that was used in this movie. It's Vampire Weekend at A-Punk on Radio Taiwan International.
feel 的声音，中央广播电台 RTI， 中央广播电台 RTI。
Hello, you're listening to Cinematic Motif on Radio Taiwan International RTI. I'm Wanson, and today we're talking about movies related to farms. And we just talked about a Taiwanese movie, The Rice Bomber, 白米炸弹客, and also a British movie, Peter Rabbit. And our final film is another British movie called God's Own Country. Okay, so God's Own Country, or also known as 春光之境. This is a 2017 British romantic drama film written and directed by Francis Lee. This is also Francis' feature directorial debut. This film stars a lovely star, Josh O'Connor, and also Alec Sacra... Alec. I cannot pronounce his name because his name is not in English. Sakaranu. The plot follows a sheep farmer in Yorkshire in the UK whose life is transformed by a Romanian migrant worker. Basically, there's this isolated young sheep farmer called Johnny, and his daily frustrations with binge drinking and casual sex until the arrival of Romanian migrant worker Georgia. And Georgia was employed to do the lambing thing for Johnny. And basically, Georgia ignites an intense relationship that sets Johnny on a new path. I'm not sure if you can sense it. It's actually a gay film, but it's not set as a gay film. I think the whole plot can be change into any different kinds of relationship between different people of different sexualities. It doesn't have to be a gay film. It talks about how you move from an isolated mind into a place more open, and I think this concept itself is very beautiful. So there are many interesting in this movie because I like this movie so much. Basically, first of all, at the very start of the movie, you can see, as I said, it's a movie about isolation and concealing, right? So at the start of the movie, there's a symbolism of the walls in the farm where Johnny stays in. The walls breaks down, and the walls are broken. And I think from this symbolism, we can see is that the walls in Johnny's heart would also break down somehow later in the movie, because Johnny meets Georgia, and Georgia is he's a sort of tenderness to the animals, as we can see in previous movie Peter Rabbit, and this tenderness ultimately changed Johnny a little bit. Because like at the start of the movie, Johnny is someone who has, as I said, casual sex, which means that basically he's having sex with people simply because of sex, not because of love. And I think this thing gradually changed in this movie, because when Georgia is trying to, have sexual relationship with Johnny, Georgia says, you should take it slow. You should love me first. You should kiss me first, instead of just starting, the other things in sexual relationships. So this take things slow basically change how sex turned into love in Johnny's case. And I think finally, the other important thing about this movie is that this movie is a Bildungshormone, or this movie is a coming-of-age story. Johnny is still very, very young, and Johnny is still immature. But with the help of Georgia, Johnny becomes more mature. Johnny understands love. And it's not just Johnny that is changing, but also Johnny's parents, the other family members of Johnny's family. They're also breaking down their conservatism. They're also changing their concept towards people a little bit. And most importantly, back in the time when this movie was released and the movie was produced, UK is suffering from the sort of the anti-Euro thing, because they're trying to do the Brexit, right? And I think it's very, very beautiful to see this movie, how a family and a farmer accepting a migrant worker from other parts of Europe, because it somehow represents the directors and the writers, the opinion towards the issue. Somehow we still need to open our mind and accept these different people. And I think this concept itself is very, very beautiful. And just to let you know, this movie was also acclaimed by some critics in Taiwan as the English version of The Brokeback Mountain by Ang Lee. Let's play the music that was played during the ending credits of this movie. This track is called The Days by Patrick Wolf, and we'll be right back on Cinematic Motif.
And the sunset, deep in regret, Phoenix and fire, and the time stops. Rush hour traffic slows, and my heart starts beating this dark through old flesh and cold bones. And I long to be carried on, just once to be lifted strong out of the loneliness and the emptiness of the days. Thousand days. Days I remember I had your loved ones, seized my body whole, and in our first dance, well, I thought by chance God had matched my soul, but time barred its traveling, this distance and solitude, and in that traveling, myself damaging, I took my love far, far from you. But don't you still long to be carried on? Once more I could lift you strong out of the loneliness and the emptiness of the days. Passing days. Passing days. Now tell me, have we gone too far, or did we get too close? You've no father, I've no son, we come ghost. I promise I'll meet you at the end of the days. Passing days. Won't you meet me at the end of the days?
This track is called The Days by Patrick Wolf, featured in the movie God's Own Country, 春光之境. Alright, so that is all for our show today on Cinematic Motif. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy these movies about farms and farmers. Please go watch these movies, God's Own Country, The Rice Bomber, and Peter Rabbit. And as always, if you've got any requests or feedback, please send your email to wanson@rti.org.tw. You can also follow me on my Instagram and YouTube. My handle is @wansonscfe. And this has been Cinematic Motif. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm back next week. Bye bye.